Did you know that your thoughts actually create your reality? Now, I know you've probably been told that so many times, or you've heard that from different people in different places. Oh, your thoughts create your reality. Whatever you think about becomes physical, or thoughts become things, or what you tune into is what you turn into, right? So we've heard about this concept a lot, but I feel like a lot of people misunderstand how it actually works. And a lot of people think that to create in your life, you just have to think those thoughts, and then it comes into your life, it manifests. So there's a little bit of a misunderstanding about what it means to create your reality, especially from your own mind, starting from an energetic level first, and then turning that energy into something physical. So what this really means is that there's energy and there's matter in the universe, right? There's energy, and then there's physical mass or matter. So when it comes to creating in this matter, in this physical reality, it starts off energetic first. It is very hard to create matter from matter. It's easier to create matter from energy. E=mc² is probably something that you've heard about before, and this means that energy is interchangeable with matter. So it's actually been shown, especially in quantum physics and even neuroscience, that our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs actually send out a frequency in our physical environment, our world. Everyone has their own world, their own life, that they live in. And your brain looks for evidence that you are right, whatever it is that you tell your brain. That's one of the brain's jobs, is to look for evidence that it is right and basically prove that it is right. So say that you're someone that always says that you have bad luck, right? You've totally embodied the fact that you have bad luck. And because we've told our brain this thought so many times, it now becomes a belief, right? So just one thought that came into our awareness, probably from a bad experience or something that we've experienced in the past, we're now letting control our life. So that one thought that was generated from a past experience or a circumstance is now a belief, because you've told yourself that you have bad luck so many times that now your brain believes it. And because it is a belief in your brain now looks for evidence that it is right. So it doesn't matter what we tell ourselves. Whatever we tell ourselves, our brain will look for evidence to prove that it is right. So you'll notice that when you go out into the world, your brain is looking for things to affirm that you do have bad luck. It is trying to prove that it is right. It's just like if you were thinking about buying a specific kind of car. And then all of a sudden, before you even make that purchase, you start to see that car everywhere, right? Have you ever went to go buy a specific kind of car, maybe a Mustang or like an Audi or something, and all of a sudden you see that exact car everywhere, maybe even in the color that you wanted to buy it in, right? Now, were there more cars just generated because you started thinking about this car? No, those cars were always there, right? But now you're tuned into seeing more of those cars because you are on the frequency of that car. You are thinking about that car. You are intending to purchase that car. And so now you've brought that car into your visible reality. It's the same thing with opportunities and people that we want to meet, and even like relationships and love and friendships. They're all there all the time, believe it or not, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed, which means every possibility, every outcome, every circumstance that you can imagine is already actually being played out in another reality, right? But we kind of direct our life and what we experience, what reality we experience, by where our focus is. So if you start affirming that miracles happen to you every day, you actually start to affirm that you're going to kill it today. That there's so many good things that are going to happen today. that the world is so beautiful today. Like, you set the parameters for what you're going to experience in your life, and it all starts from the moment that you wake up. You should really pay attention to the thoughts that you have, especially in the morning. When you haven't even went through an entire day, your brain can't just create thoughts based off what it's seeing. You just woke up. Notice what thoughts come up, because those are probably the ones that you are programmed to believe. As soon as you wake up, those thoughts start. Are those thoughts benefiting you? Are those thoughts facts? Or is it a story that you're telling yourself? Or are those thoughts just there because of something you've experienced in the past? Maybe your wounds are speaking out, just like affirming that you've had bad luck. It's probably because you had a horrible experience, right? That you just thought was so random, so unfair, it must be bad luck. There's no way that this could be a coincidence. This must be bad luck, right? So now your brain starts to look for those things. But we can choose what we think, right? We can choose our thoughts. And what we think about, that creates a feeling. And the feeling that we have determines what actions we take, right? And those actions we take will determine our results. So this is how our thoughts create our reality. It's not just thinking a thought and then it manifests into our environment. It's because that thought actually influences us on a subconscious level, and we don't even realize it a lot of the time. Whatever that thought is, your brain's going to look for evidence that it's right, right? And whatever that thought is, there's a feeling going to be attached to that thought. And with that feeling will determine the actions that you either take or you don't take. And that determines your results. So in the law of attraction, right, there is the word action. And that word is very, 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 very important when it comes to this. Because if we're not taking aligned action on what we actually want to create in our lives, how is it supposed to come into us? Say that you wanted to manifest $10,000 in your business, but you don't have any offers in your business, right? Or you haven't created a way for that amount of money to come to you through your business. So this is why action is important. These things want to come to us. They want to be magnetized to us, but we have to be open to receiving it and allow whatever it is we're trying to create in our lives. We have to allow it a way to come in, right? We can't have the door locked and still be asking for $10,000, but have the door locked and not have any way that can come in. And yes, spontaneous things can happen, but we have to take aligned action that will make it more likely that will either come to us or we create a path where we can actively create that in our lives. So there's two different ways you can do that. This is how your thoughts create your reality. And you can think a thought all you want to, right? But if you're not taking the action on that thought, or that thought is maybe not helping you, and you don't dive into the belief behind that thought, it's going to be really hard to move forward. So self-mastery, really learning how your mind works and learning what's stopping you from getting where you want to be and taking action, that is what creates your outcomes. And you could think any thoughts that you want to. It doesn't matter if it's a goal that you've never seen done before or accomplished before. Maybe it came into your awareness because you're the one that's meant to do it, to show other people what is actually possible. This is why we are so limitless. We are limitless beings, but we have been programmed to feel that we are limited, which is why we have to pay attention to what thoughts we're having, because a lot of the time our thoughts are not ours. Those thoughts were picked up from other people throughout our lives. Maybe that thought was generated from a traumatic experience, but we never dug into that thought, and so we kept thinking that thought so many times that now it's a belief, just based off one experience that we had. That created a belief. Maybe you had something happen to you when you were 8 or 9, and this thought started generating from that traumatic experience or whatever it was. But you've told yourself that thought so many times that now as an adult, you are still operating from that wounded place, from that belief that is not actually your true belief. And 95% of our brain is subconscious, which means that a huge majority of our life is being ran unconsciously. Our conscious mind is only 5% of our brain. And our conscious mind usually listens to the program that's running in the back, right? The subconscious mind, the 95% of our brain that we don't actively get to connect with unless you're a lucid dreamer. Which, as we know, if you've been on this channel for a while, is an incredible way to do all this work. But when it comes to creating something in your reality, you have to get very, 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 very clear on your desires, what you actually want to experience. Now you have to see, what am I doing or what am I thinking during the day that could be stopping me from actually getting to that place. And sometimes it's just a thought. Maybe you have a business goal, but you have this little thought in the background that's determining your success or telling you that you can't do something, and you don't even think you're listening to that thought. Sometimes you don't even know you have that thought, and that thought is creating a feeling which is determining your actions and your results. And you're like, why is this not working? I'm doing everything right. I have all the strategies in my business, or I have this whole plan, and it's supposed to be going well, but there's something not working. Energy and matter, right? If it's not something in the physical realm that's stopping you, if you don't see something physical in your reality that's stopping you from getting to where you want to be, chances are it's energetic, which comes back to your thoughts, to your beliefs, and to your feelings. What do you truly believe about that desire or that goal? Do you know that you can accomplish it? What are your true beliefs behind there? What are the thoughts that are attached to that belief? Now, what are the feelings that you feel that are attached to that belief? And we can start to dissect our thoughts and what feelings those are creating. And is this constructive to where I want to be? Or is this not even helping me at all? Because we have 65 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and a lot of those thoughts are thoughts that we had the day before. And if we are thinking the same thoughts every single day, we're going to have the same feelings, right? And then we're going to take the same actions, and then we're going to get the same results. And we're basically not growing in any way because we're operating off of a program. And this is how we start to dissect our thoughts and start to change our thoughts to create new thoughts. Because those new thoughts are going to create new feelings, and those new feelings are going to create new actions, right? And then those new actions are going to create new results. So really, the key to getting different results in your life is doing new things, thinking new things, being willing to feel new things, and being willing to see things differently than what you have been told. That's very important. If you're not willing to see things differently, you're not going to experience things differently. And this gives you all the power back, right? Because it shows that things don't happen to you in your life, they happen for you. And there was always medicine in every single thing that you experience in life. There really is. You just have to look for it, right? You have to be willing to see things differently. So if we're going to see things differently, we have to be willing to be wrong about having bad luck. You can't keep affirming to yourself, no, I do have bad luck, because you're going to keep creating the reality where you do, even though that doesn't even exist, but you've made that exist in your mind, right? And two people could be having the exact same experience, and one be having the time of their life, and the one always saying that he has bad luck, even though they're having the same experience. But your experience is based on the perception that you have about that thing. And how we perceive things is usually down to our beliefs, or maybe our feelings. Say we're like going through something difficult, or we're coming from a wounded place. Now our vision is not clear because we're operating from a past experience, right? So this is what I mean by our thoughts do create our reality. But there's so much more to it, right? There's so much more than we've actually been led to believe about this. It is not just your thoughts, because there's a whole thing that we have to be willing to unravel. The thoughts, the beliefs attached to those thoughts, the feelings that those thoughts create, the actions that those feelings create, and the results that those actions are creating in our life, right? But remembering that is going to absolutely change the way that you live, the way that you act, and the way that you believe. You have to know that you are capable of achieving anything. And if you don't believe that you are, you have to ask when that thought started. When did we first start believing that, and what caused us to believe this? And this is not a fact, right? You have to ask yourself, is this a fact or a story? Is this a fact? Is this something that can be universally agreed upon? That I have bad luck or I'm not capable to do this? Is that something that the entire universe can agree on? Probably not, right? No. So that means it's a story that was created by us. If it's not a universal fact, it is a story that was created in our own perception, in our own thoughts and beliefs and feelings. But we can become aware of that, and we can choose a different thought. We can reprogram our beliefs. We can heal our wounds and our traumas. And we can set huge goals and desires that we before didn't think we'd be able to accomplish. But again, now we're proving by accomplishing it that that previous thing was just a belief that we told ourselves. So this should be empowering you to know that you can create any circumstance in your life based on how you think about it, what you believe about it, what you feel about it, and the actions that you take in favor of that thing. Those are the things to remember, and I promise you, your entire life will change. So what are the thoughts you're thinking today? What are the beliefs that are coming up today? What are you feeling today, and what actions are you taking in favor of those feelings? And is that something that's going to benefit you overall? Benefit you, your business, your personal life, your spiritual life? You get to call the shots here. You get to create from an energetic place and bring that into the physical world. E equals MC squared. Energy is interchangeable with matter, and this is exactly what I mean. And once you learn about how the world works a little bit more, quantum physics, neuroscience, those are my favorite places to dive into this topic a little bit more. You realize how limitless you are, and it completely allows you to take your power back and start creating from an abundant place instead of a scarce place. That's a story as well. That's a mindset. So you get to play the game the way that you want to play it, but you create your own game. So that's up to you. That's up to you how you play. I hope that this video helped you. Please let me know if you have any questions about this video. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'd love to hear about your experiences with this or your thoughts on this. If you'd like to work with me to induce lucid dreams or out-of-body experiences or do any soul alignment or business work, you can reach out to me via email or check the links in the description on different ways that you can work with me. And if you are not subscribed to this channel and you like the content that I create, make sure to hit subscribe down below. And welcome to the Dream Fam if this is your first time here. I love you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing day. And as always, I'm sending you endless love and endless lucidity.